Children, I welcome you in this last and concluding video of Lost Spring Stories of Stolen Childhood by Enies Jung. And in this video, we'll be reading about the vicious circle in which the bangle makers are trapped. But Mukesh thinks differently and dreams of becoming a motor mechanic.
So let's see the next paragraph. Why not organize yourselves into a cooperative? I ask a group of young men who have fallen into the vicious circle of middlemen who trap their fathers and forefathers. Even if we get organized, we are the ones who will be hauled up by the police, beaten and dragged to jail for doing something illegal, they say. There is no leader among them, no one who could help them see things differently. Their fathers are as tired as they are. So here we can see that the author suggested formation of cooperatives to escape the vicious circle of middlemen who have always forced and exploited them. The bangle makers told about their helplessness because whenever they attempted to unite and form a cooperative, they were victimized and tortured by the police who were with the middlemen. There was none to lead them and thus they were forced to live in poverty. Children, before explaining this paragraph, let me tell you what is a cooperative movement. Cooperative movement is a socially and economically beneficial concept, children, and it has revolutionized many a small-scale disorganized sector and changed the lives of people. Our country and its economy thrive on many such small-scale units and they are spread over different states. Earlier, due to lack of education and awareness and disorganized structure of the workforce, these people were exploited by middlemen. Despite all their hard work and labor, they could not make much gains. This is exploitation, work done by somebody, gained by someone else. Only the middlemen benefited from this situation. The same is the case with the workers of the bangle industry. They provide cheap labor with no demand of insurance or provident fund and help the middleman, the policeman and the sahukars. They all fill their coffers. Coffers here, their lockers full of money. And children, an example of universally accepted and acknowledged a hugely successful cooperative movement in India is the Amul Dairy. Their leader, he had to face great opposition from the middlemen, but single-handedly he brought all the milk families of Gujarat under one roof and formed a cooperative society where each member was equal partner in profit. And today it is a global brand. All small-scale units should be set free from these sahukars, middlemen, politicians or the policemen. So coming to the lines of the paragraph, the writer suggests them to form a cooperative. She talked to a group of young men to get out of the clutches of the cruel middlemen who had trapped their elders. Vicious here means a cruel, wicked, a corrupted circle. The cruel middlemen who had trapped their elders. The men said that if they dared to do something like that, they would be dragged and beaten up by the police and sent to jail. They would be hauled up. Hauled up means dragged, taken away, and they would be put behind the bars. Why? Because their acts would be termed to be unlawful. The writer felt that as they had no leader, they could not think of doing things differently. They were all so tired, the young men and also their fathers, but they were helpless. The author could visualize two worlds here. One was that of the sufferings to which the bangle makers belonged, and the other was that of the nexus. Nexus means the connection between the middlemen, the police, bureaucrats, and the politicians. Both the worlds have burdened the young shoulder with the baggage. Baggage here is burden. The burden they cannot put down, and so they have accepted this burden as naturally as their fathers had done. We'll continue with the next line. They talk endlessly in a spiral that moves from poverty to apathy, to greed, and to injustice. Listening to them, I see two distinct worlds. One of the family caught in a web of poverty, burdened by the stigma of caste in which they are born. The other, a vicious circle of the sahukars, the middlemen, the policemen, the keepers of law, the bureaucrats, and the politicians. Together they have imposed the baggage on the child that he cannot put down. Before he is aware, he accepts it as naturally as his father. To do anything else would mean to dare. So this is the paragraph. There are some words which you have to understand. The spiral here is a never-ending or a continuous process without any end. Spiral. Apathy. Apathy is lack of concern or it is indifference. There are three words: sympathy, empathy, and apathy. Apathy without any concern. Totally indifferent. Then here, greed. Greed here is intense and selfish desire for something. And here that desire is just survival. Distinct is separate. Stigma is dishonor or a spot or a mark. And then you have the word bureaucrats. Bureaucrats, as you all must be knowing, government officials, imposed, forced upon. And baggage means burden. To dare to do something is to do something courageously. Although I will be repeating the words as we read the lines. So they talk endlessly in a spiral. Spiral, as we have seen, never-ending process. They are just talking over there. That moves poverty to apathy, to greed and to injustice. So we can say the men complained that it was a continuous process. Their poor condition led to lack of concern for their problems. And this made them greedy and that led to injustice. The writer here says that there were two separate worlds. The writer realizes that they were caught in these two different separate worlds. One was of such families who were stuck in poverty. As they were poor, they had taken money from money lenders and they were indebted to them too. They were stuck in poverty and the pressure of doing the traditional profession according to the caste in which they were born. So they were forced to work with their parents. The other world is a never-ending cycle of money lenders, middlemen, policemen, lawmakers, government officials and politicians. Both these worlds had forced these young boys to follow the family traditions. The young boys get into the profession and become a part of the vicious cycle even before they realize it. If they did anything else, it meant that they were challenging these two worlds. We'll see the last paragraph now. And daring is not part of his growing up. When I sense a flash of it in Mukesh, I am cheered. I want to be a motor mechanic, he repeats. He will go to a garage and learn. but the garage is a long way from his home. I will walk, he insists. Do you also dream of flying a plane? He is suddenly silent. No, he says, staring at the ground in his small murmur. There is an embarrassment that has not yet turned into regret. He is content to dream of cars that he sees hurtling down the streets of his town. The last line of the chapter is very significant. Few airplanes fly over Firozabad. There are few opportunities over there, and he has just seen cars nearby, so he is content to dream of cars. The writer in this paragraph focuses on the point that the boys had not been reared up to be bold. They had not been brought up in this manner that they would be bold so that they could dare to go against the system. The writer was happy to sense that Mukesh had the spark in him. He repeated that he would be a motor mechanic. He wanted to go to a garage and learn the job. The writer asked that as the garage was at a distance from his home, Mukesh insisted that he would walk up to it. She asked if he dreamt of flying planes. The boy became silent and refused. He did not know about them as he did not know about planes. Not many planes flew over Firozabad. Here the writer portrays that children can dream of such opportunities and profession which they see nearby. So he had seen only cars moving around in Firozabad, and his dreams were restricted up to them. Defiance or deviation was nowhere seen in Firozabad. It was only in Mukesh that a spark here, or there is a word in the book, flash. Flash means a spark, a sudden blaze or shine. A spark of dare was seen. He was bent on becoming a motor mechanic and would even learn to drive. He was ready to walk to the garage, which was far from his home. He did not dream of flying an aeroplane, but was content. He was satisfied with his dream of cars that seemed more real to him, as he had not seen planes flying over Firozabad. The last line is a contrast and hyperbole. We had discussed hyperbole. It's a literary device. It is a way of speaking or writing that makes something sound better or exciting. It was there in the first part. Garbage to them is gold. So children, this is the end of the chapter, and I have to say Lost Spring has a tinge of irony in it, and it deals with the miserable plight of street children who are forced into labor early in life and denied the opportunity of schooling. Thank you and have a nice day.